Hello, everybody. I'm Elise as Another Truth here on YouTube. Thank you for listening to this audio only video. I apologize I did not attach a warning or anything like that to my last video. I did not mean to disrespect anybody's sensibilities or feelings. I realized that it was quite raw in my reaction to something I was seeing for the first time, although I am not unfamiliar with Colleen Ballinger's own sensitivity to people's pain and suffering. So I do want to apologize for not issuing a verbal warning, though it was in the written description. I think it should be covered on all areas. This comes with the same warning. There will be swearing, and I will be bringing up sensitive topics of things around Colleen Ballinger, such as grooming, abuse, and so on. So please think very carefully before you listen to this video. And if you haven't seen my other reaction video, please understand that this warning extends to that as well. Please read the description. So, I had a couple of days to think about this, more like a day and a half. It's not enough time to kind of think about the complicated mess that is Colleen Ballinger. I have seen other people's reactions, read about them, as much as I had the time to do while working on my own stuff. And I wanted to say that I don't think at all that Colleen's return video was an apology video. It was just that, a return video. This monster I refer to is an unconscionable, unsympathetic, discompassionate monster. Colleen Ballinger is a monster, a predator, a groomer. This woman has the audacity, and I use that word in a negative sense, to at least performatively claim that she wants a safe space. She wants to make her channel a safe space for people. Again, she takes verbiage and maligns it to suit her own needs, her own means to try to get back into the community as this gentle, reformed soul. She's none of those things. This community is not safe with her return. Of course, that would extend to the other predators online who have doxed people, abused people, doxed people's children, etc. Colleen Ballinger is in her own class of diabolical predators, as far as I'm concerned. A safe space, in my viewpoint, would imply a place in which people who are discriminated against, people who are marginalized, can feel safe talking about things. Colleen Ballinger is a filthy racist, a groomer, and a predator. who reappropriates language to manipulate people to return to her realm, to say everything is okay. The stuff about therapy, the stuff about being her parent, were just things that she threw in there to really deflect away from the fact that she is still Colleen Ballinger with the same shtick, with the same purpose. And that is to self-serve herself. That is all that is. She doesn't care that she makes victims unsafe. Her victims don't have a safe space in YouTube. They can't freely talk about their experiences or what their lives are like now. Well, I shouldn't say that because people have spoken out in Swoop's interviews, in discussions, and interviews alone and things like that. But a safe space would assume that someone would feel safe, that there's some level of confidentiality and safety in what one shares as far as their experiences are, especially around marginalization, racism, discrimination, and so on. Now, I considered people who are victims of grooming and so on part of that community. They will never feel safe on this platform. Now with Colleen returning and pretending that nothing has happened, just reinforces the fact that there is a clear separation of who gets to have their say, who gets to have their expressed experiences, and who do not. Colleen has enough resources, enough power, enough access to things to be able to do that with some level of comfortability. A predator like her, with no shame, no respect for anybody else but herself, can come back in and say, oh, it'll be a little clunky at first, but get through it. That's not a position coming from a reformed person. That's not the position of a person who has actually had a level of accountable therapy to come back in here to talk about things. She's never once meaningfully addressed the horrors that she committed upon everybody. I'm sorry people got hurt. She's not sorry at all. This was not an apology video. This was just a way for her to worm her way back in for cash grab, for the attention she so desperately needs. That is what she's back for. She doesn't care who she makes uncomfortable in the process. This isn't the kind of uncomfortability that you give to somebody when you shake up a system that is discriminatory, that hurts people. Okay, this is an uncomfortability where someone's power is threatened. Colleen Ballinger has never used her white privilege in a meaningful and productive way. It doesn't even cross her mind. Everything that comes out of her is a lie in that way. It's disingenuous, I should say. And she will use her family as a shield against dealing with criticism, as if being a mother, a white mother, somehow excludes all responsibility for horrors that they committed on other people. Using the mental health system to justify her inappropriate return is another thing. Now, Colleen Ballinger is an ableist as well. She may even be an ableist toward herself. But using, weaponizing mental health to manipulate her way back into a situation in which she does not belong, to me, is someone who wants to use their level of ability to attack and harm and disarm people and to disable. That is what she does. She does not nurture. She does not protect. She does not uplift. I don't care how many people say that they want her back. I understand the dynamic there. People can be so delusional about things, or they misunderstand, or maybe they don't even want to know because they want to believe the fantasy. But Colleen Ballinger does not have a product to bring forth that is meaningful. Her only mission in all of this is to destroy, and not in a way to deconstruct things that need to be deconstructed, but to destroy people's lives so that she can have the focus and attention. And it's going to suck for her when she gets older, because less and less attention will be paid to her, because that's the way of the world, which is sad. This is a woman approaching 40 years old. Actually, she's 36 years old. For some reason, I thought she was 37 or 38. Doesn't matter. And, like I said, things are going to be tough for her. People are going to pay less attention. What is she going to do without her secondary mouthpiece? The one that she used to express how she really is? Miranda sings. What product does Colleen bring? Colleen is a talentless, ignorant, disrespectful monster. Is also a predator. What product that is going to be useful to anybody, that's going to help change the world? There are plenty of other YouTubers out there making a difference. They're making differences in their communities. Sorry about that. They're making differences in their cities, their worlds, whatever. They're doing the work that needs to be done to ensure people are helped and assisted. I mean, Colleen did these fundraisers, and suspiciously, nobody knows yet where that money is. it doesn't seem to be donated at this point. So where did it go? She's fallen in line with other YouTubers who have raised money and have kept the proceeds for that. So why would any charitable endeavor be trusted from Colleen again? So she can't even have that because she ruined that. Her merch is crap because she doesn't care about women's issues. She doesn't care about social justice. She doesn't care about anything else but herself. That's been proven in her behavior, especially her despicable behavior towards some of the most vulnerable people in this society. She has proven that. She has groomed and maligned children and young adults to do her bidding. And she knew that with her power, she could make fun of anybody she wanted. She can use their OnlyFans accounts to expose children to things they're not ready to be. She can do all of those things. What is she actually bringing to the table other than destruction, pain, and suffering? Nothing. She has nothing to offer anybody on this platform. She shouldn't even be around minors given her behavior. She is a danger to them. There are other things that she can do. She can do honest work. She can wash dishes for a living. She can clean toilets. She can take out the trash, mow lawns. She can take service calls at Amazon. Those are things that she can do to earn some money honestly. But they wouldn't suit her. They wouldn't suit her because she needs attention. So, no, YouTube is not the only thing she can do. She is capable of doing other things, but as far as I'm concerned, she is limited where she can do that. If she actually had charges pressed against her for the things that she has done to minors using this platform or things that she has done in her life outside of this platform, that's what she would be doing. She would have to work a meaningful job, but away from minors. That's what she should be doing. So why is she on YouTube? She shouldn't be on YouTube. She's motivated by attention and by money. Nobody with a reasonable understanding of Colleen Ballinger wants to see her crappy house, her stupid decor. Nobody wants to see her aligning her children and using them as a means to generate views and clicks and things like that. Nobody wants to hear her complain and cry about everything. There are other people to cry for. A lot of people are suffering in this world. a lot of suffering, a lot of war, a lot of people displaced by effects of climate change. A lot of horrible things. Food insecurity, racial injustice, price gouging, people feeling like they're complete shit because they can't give their children the best toys for Christmas. People struggling to either pay the rent or pay for food. And here's Colleen Ballinger in her multi-million-dollar shithole, coming from a position of power to compromise the well-being of her victims and some of those victims who dare to speak out, and to tell the world, I'm back. I'm sorry. My behavior hurt a lot of people, but I don't really give a fuck, because what matters to me are the people who are stupid enough to believe how I think, how I talk, how I am. Because if I'm not getting attention, I'm freaking out. That's where she's coming from. She should have stayed away. If she did any meaningful soul searching, so to speak, any meaningful therapy, 4 months of therapy, yeah, that makes a lot of difference in people's lives. It made a lot of difference in mine. It made a lot of difference in mine at that point. But I am years into my therapy, and I'm just touching some of the traumatic events. Now, everybody does it at their own pace. But I'm seeing the results of my own journey in that. But for Colleen, with her predatorial nature, her prognosis isn't good. She would need ongoing, intensive therapy with behavior management to deal with some of the stuff she's going through, some of the behaviors that she has presented, the way she has behaved toward minors and young adults, her inappropriate interaction, and maligning them and dismissing them. She doesn't care about these people. She doesn't care the danger she puts them in, or anybody else in that's a minor. What is it going to take for Colleen to grow up and to stay away? Now, I'm not encouraging this for anybody else, but if I come across any product that I know that is supporting Colleen in any way, either through AdSense or sponsorships or anything, I will not. My only power is to boycott those things. I will do Colleen Ballinger content when I can. That's my power in that. Because I don't want to support anything that's going to continue the isolation of her victims and putting new people in danger. No amount of hair cutting for Colleen, no amount of presenting this fake demure presentation of her reformed self is going to convince me that she's anything else but the monster she always is. She makes a mockery of mental health care, the mental health processes in that care. She makes a mockery of the BIPOC community. She makes a mockery of sex abuse victims. She makes a mockery of people who are victims of her own grooming and inappropriate behavior. She talks about my therapy, but what about the lifelong therapy that maybe some of her victims might need to have, or long-term therapy? She doesn't care about that. She only cares about having a visible presence and people worshiping her and giving her attention. She doesn't deserve it. She doesn't need it. The attention she needs is to her diabolical nature and working on herself. Now, she's probably impervious to any kind of self-reflection. That is apparent in her return. That is apparent in her behavior. That she would make this it's not even an apology video. It never was about apologizing. It was about, I'm going to come back, and I don't care who I make feel uncomfortable. It's going to be a little bit clunky, but as long as I get my bucks, I don't give a fuck about anybody else but myself. With her stupid tears and her mediocre life, it's all she is. She's a joke. And I just wish she had a sense to stay off of YouTube and stay away from minors. These people like cockroaches, they never go away. Anyway, I'm going.